Let's take a look around. This is the grow room. I'm into my winter grow rooms now, like fully immersed. I'm getting things set up. I'm coming close to being done setting up for like this first round because I got this room and my living room grow room, which is pretty much full now. And I set up the wood burning stove. I had one fire already. I'm gonna do more fires. It's gonna start getting cold this week going forward, so I'm gonna be doing a lot more fires. I got firewood. I got it stacked up and chopped up. I got quite a bit. And my neighbor, he's got woods, and he said I can pick through and get all the wood out of there that I'm gonna need to burn to stay warm. And all this is laid out with a bunch of different things: lettuces and kales, some basils, and other plants. So pepper trees, which will, they're pepper plants really right now, but they will kind of be like trees because they're perennial when they're grown all year long through like a climate where it doesn't get cold to kill them. And these are some older kales that are in here from months ago but are still growing really good. So you'll see with kale, I pick the lower leaves and eat those, and then the more inner leaves, they continue to grow. So that's how you keep your kale plants just going and going and going and going until they might go to seed or whatever. But they've just been going for months and months now, and I just continue to do the same thing, which is pick the lower leaves, and then these things will die off and fall off, and you can pick those up before they shrivel up completely and feed them to an animal or something like that too, to use every bit of it. I'll probably go in there and pick that out of there, feed it to the rabbits. And my pepper tree, you'll see the red peppers. These are habaneros. Well, you can see down here, this is another one of my peppers. This is a purple murasaki pepper. I've never grown it before, and there's some coming in pretty good now. So I'm excited to let that grow up a bit and then pick that and eat it. I space things out a little bit, getting ready to get fully organized for this season's growing. But here is this bin, and it's full of dirt and beets that I planted. So like I'm saying about the roots, they will probably do a lot better in this tub here because it's a bit more dirt even than last season as far as the depth. So maybe it'll let the plants understand that they have more room to grow, and then they'll produce more of a root. But I will have leafy greens regardless of what it does with the root, so I'm going to get a really good feel for how that goes this season. Down and in here, you can see the way that I space things out. I space them out to maximize the space and get the most out of everything, and they will, as they grow, I pick the outer leaves and also any leaves that would be in the way of the other plant next to it getting proper light. I'll take those leaves too and eat those ones. And that's pretty much how I harvest these things as they grow. And anything that might die back a little, I'll pick those off. I keep everything looking real fresh so that, it all gets proper light and stands tall and perky. And that's Swiss chard. Yeah? Yeah. Bionda de Lyon. This is red Ursa kale here. This one is a Swiss chard, a witty. Another Murasaki purple pepper. It hasn't got any peppers because it's just a baby, but it's going to get big. And then another red Ursa kale. Kale here, dazzling blue. These are all dazzling blue. And a rutabaga and a turnip over here. So there's a couple of them, two different, the root crops right there in that pot. And that, I'm mainly just hoping for the greens. The root, if it forms a nice root towards the end, that will be a bonus. Then the little aloe vera is coming on in, and the potatoes that hasn't come up yet. That's just a russets, some seed I had. I didn't want to go to waste, so we'll see if that comes up, and I'll put a cage around it. And the cannabis, which I will be cloning. So they're about ready now, these two, where I'll be able to get some clones off of them. You know, you dip that stuff in the Clonex gel and you put it in a tray with the dome over it so that it holds the humidity with like a heat mat underneath, and then it should reroot. I gotta check exactly what temperature to keep it at. I know it's high humidity, and then you get the little soil blocks, make them out of like peat moss and coconut coir fiber, or there's other types of blocks you can buy. But I would prefer the all natural organic kind. Just make them yourself, and you can put them in the little squares, and then you make that, and then I will have those ready for next season's growing and to grow through this winter season too, so that I don't have to plant seed and buy seeds again for cannabis. Shouldn't have to do that. With cannabis, seeds can be pretty pricey, and if you can go through the process of doing it yourself, well, then you're abundant. Peppers and a couple more little aloe veras. I'll put them into some pots. So I got to get enough dirt still to plant the rest of this stuff out. We have here is dwarf Siberian kales and some red Russian kales and some more bok choy and some basils that I think will still come up because there's a few down and in there that look okay still. So I want to get that today, some salsify today or tomorrow. I got a little bit of stuff to do today still. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to test out my new rabbit dispatch method. It's almost like a guillotine, but it's not. Well, sort of. It holds its head, and you'll see the contraption. I'll show you. And then I'm going to go down its neck with a sword and decapitate it completely, instantly. Instead of the other two methods, which are, breaking its neck and the bolt gun to the head, which can require a couple times of hitting them, and it can also take a minute or two for them to die, even there still, with the bolt gun, unless you know exactly what you're doing and have hundreds of tries under your belt where you hit them perfectly to hit the spine or the cord and whatever in its head, the right spot. I'm not a pro, and I don't want to go through 100 rounds of traumatic incidences with these rabbits before I get it down pat, when I can create my own system to just take care of it instantly, quickly, and efficiently. So I'll be able to even dispatch a few within a very short amount of time and get them processed and everything, so that everything's running optimal and the energy is proper. That's the biggest part for me. And in here, looking great. Out here, these water filters, I'm making more, and I'm going to be stocking up on the supplies to make these, and I'm going to be reselling them, selling them on eBay. I'm going to create a listing, and I'll even throw it down in these descriptions when I have it up. But the idea is these are 5-gallon Berkey-like gravity water-fed filters. They got the filter element, which is this one here. It's made by British Berkfield. Now these are ceramic candle filters, just like the Berkey or the Pro Pure filters. And these ones are a bit cheaper. So this is a 7-inch. I'm going to get the 10-inch next, which are actually even cheaper by this same brand, because I'm sure they don't sell as many, because they're a bit taller and some people probably don't have the units for those. But my custom bucket units will fit a 10-inch filter, fit a couple of them, and I'm going to go ahead and make those and take nice pictures and keep it clean, all brand new buckets from the store, the spigots, and the filters. And then I just drill the holes, and the lids act as the caps, for holding the top bucket, and then it cap on the bucket if you want that. I don't even put the caps on the buckets because I just constantly filling them up. But also, the buckets are like, they're white food grade buckets, so they're food grade. So it's good for your water. And they also are clear, like see through. You can see the water level. And they're 5 gallon capacity, which is more than most of the stainless steel units that you'll buy. And doing it this way is a fraction of the price. If you were to even buy it after I made it, it would be like a third of the price, a half the price, something like that, as if you were to buy, the stainless steel one officially from a company. You don't have the same utility. You can't see the water level, and you don't have the same amount of water. And with these, you can custom make them however you want and tap the holes yourself, all that good stuff. I like it. I have these units here, which are the Berkey and the Pro Pure. So I have quite a few. I use them. They're a little smudgy right now. They get dirty with minerals from the tap water splashing, and then grease from cooking and stuff. I have to clean them. I clean them like weekly with vinegar. I'll wash them real good. I just haven't done it yet. I'm gonna do it today, probably today. I'm gonna go through. I gotta do a lot of cleaning today. I'm gonna clean all my windows, all the glass. I clean with vinegar. So that's another thing. You don't need household chemical products to clean things. To clean organically, you clean with vinegar and alcohol. So alcohol to sterilize surfaces and whatnot, vinegar to get streaks off your glass. Just a little tidbit there. Clean water. You don't want fluoride, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, herbicides, what else? Microplastics. All that stuff that, destroys your hormones and your body, your organic self. So the whole holistic method of this regenerative process of homesteading and being self-reliant and healthy and all that, it's a true lifestyle. Now, outside, these are my bugs. This is my station out here. I have to get things organized and cleaned up a little bit. And then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to grab the rabbit and set him up and show you the contraption that I've made. And if you guys are doing rabbits and you want to do something like this too, probably a good idea. If you're not doing rabbits, probably a good idea. Get some rabbits. Rabbits, they can grow, and you can raise your rabbits just off of grass. They might not be as meaty, but they will grow and they will live. They will reproduce. But you don't have to do just grass. You can go from there and supplement in things you're growing in your garden. Look up its required nutrients that a rabbit should get, and see what you can grow to supplement what it needs. And the rabbits, a funny way of choosing and picking what they need and for their bodies when they're hungry. So you just throw it all in there and they'll pick what they want when they want. And I'm going to be trying to transition away from feed. Chicken feed is a little different. Chickens need a lot of grains and stuff, but the rabbits can go without a lot of that. So that's why the grass thing with the rabbits, and I'm going to work on that. So it's going to be like a generational thing. This next round of kits, I'm going to do less feed with the mama that I'm working with right now, separately from the others. I'm going to just start weaning her kits away from feed, and then the next generation where I'll pick another round of kits from those, and then I'll wean those further and further, and after a few generations I think that I'll have them on grass completely, and then that will be my new breed, or one of my project breeds going forward will be completely grass fed. I have Silver Fox in New Zealand, so I was thinking maybe I'll breed one of the Silver Fox males with the New Zealand, crossbreed them. I know, right? But it's not keeping the genetics pure, but it might make for a more resilient breed, and then start that crossbreed off of eating grass and doing the process like I just talked about to transition them completely from feed to grass. And maybe it'll make for a meatier, more resilient strain, 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 species, breed. You know, more the genetics will be more diverse, so it might hold up better going through the transition. Yeah. I'm building a station where I can lay the rabbit out and it will hold its head, and then I'll be able to just take the head, so that way it's super quick and there's no trauma, no painful experience there. It's just it's quick. Humanely is the big part about it all, so that, you know, the energy is good. My greens, look at my lettuce. Hell yeah, looking pretty good, isn't it? Mustard greens and some other stuff, a kale it looked like. This is salsify, bok choy, and that's a dwarf Siberian kale. Some peppers. I've got a bunch of different pepper plants. That's a rawia, and so is that one. We'll have to see how that grows. And all these pepper plants, a lot of new, they're all new to me. This is rutabagas and turnips, actually. So I'll see if that gets a root. Regardless, I will have the greens, and that's what I'm after there, mostly. This is dazzling blue kale. That should be dazzling. Dwarf Siberian kale. Italian basil, broadleaf basil. Yeah, I gotta replace that one. It shriveled up. Yeah, and that's a little aloe vera. They sprout out from the aloe veras, so they just reroot little sprouts out the soil next to the plant. These are kales. These ones are older. I don't have the tags on those ones, but that one is a blue curled Scotch, and this is a cabbage. You know, cabbage is a brassica, like kales is a brassica. So they grow real similar. Like, I was looking at the stems, and you can see the stems, you know, they're just real similar. So you can definitely tell how they're the same, what would you call that, genus, species, genetics. These are pepper plants. What do we got here? Okay, yeah, my sweet peppers. Capsicum anima. Yep, that's what it is. It's a sweet pepper, and there's some other peppers here. This one. So where's the little pepper forming? There's on there. He's right there. Yep. This one is called Murasaki purple pepper. And then my avocados, and then this habanero pepper here. I don't recall the exact name of it. It's just abbreviated on the tag. I should have wrote the whole name down, but I didn't. And this is an aronia berry. So I bought that from Tractor Supply in the summertime, actually, and it didn't get a time to put it into the dirt, so I just put it here and inside, and I'm thinking that it will grow over the winter. It already is doing okay. It's starting to get its little buds there on the ends. I thought it was going to die because that part was just left, and then it started doing that. So I think it might come back, and that would be amazing, and then I'll plant it somewhere. So this is part of the contraption that I'm making here. I just kind of made this here with wood and materials I had laying around. And what it is, it's going to act as like a latch to hold the head of the rabbit. I got 2 of them. And I'm going to go out into the rabbit colony in a minute and get one of the large ones and get a feel for how big its neck is. And then I'm going to draw an approximate, and I'm going to cut it out, cut holes out, one on this one, and then another on this one. And then what it's going to do when I set it up out there is it's going to have a space between it like that, something like that there. And then the head will be held, and then I'll be able to slip a blade in between and it'll decapitate. So that's my design. That's me using my brain. That's me wanting the best life and quickest dispatch for my rabbits. So I'm trying here. So give me some credit, because I don't like those other two methods, and everybody else on the planet uses those other methods. Mainly the one where you slip the rabbit in between the the metal whatever, and you just pull it and break its neck. And sometimes, how strong are people? How many tries does it take to really break that neck? And that's just freaking nuts, man. I would hate that. One of my prep corners. I'm stocking up vinegar over here and propane tanks. And this here is a Mr. Heater propane burner for a heat source. I'm mixing soil for my pots in there. The fabric pots, they get filled like this. So this is a lot of bedding and manure from the rabbits. And then this is some old soil that was used for a plant. It was one of my avocado trees that I didn't really like the way it was growing, so I just pulled it out of there. And reusing the soil, and that's just some older soil too. So I'm mixing it all together and basically revitalizing it with the manure into here, and then I'll use what I mixed up in here and I'll just put it in fabric pots, and I'll move the fabric pots inside. So that's how I'm making soil now, and it's actually creating more soil over time as I recycle the pots over and over again, because I'm adding to it with the manure. And here is where I'm setting up. I got one of my mama rabbits out here because she was biting the ears of the babies, and she's going to kindle soon, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna have to watch her maybe in the next week or two. Kindle meaning have her babies, and the day before she'll start getting acting different. She'll pull her fur because she's ready to make a nest, and then once you notice that, probably a good idea to put a nesting box in there with the straw, and then she'll go ahead and get the job done. I made these cups using some plastic deli cups and some zip ties. Put little holes through the cup there at the top of the water cup, and then tied it to the metal there. And that's a way that I made feeders and waters for these cages without having to buy them. I used material I had on deck and just made them. And I'll cover this at night. When it's nice, I'll open it up for her, and I could fit another one in there. And then I have all these containers where I can put rabbits too if I need to move them out for temporary to show them to buyers or to harvest. And cover this back up at night so that the wind, you don't want wind or them getting wet, right? So cover that. And wind needs to stay off the rabbits. The rabbits can survive extreme cold temperatures, but they can't survive the wind. So they need to stay dry and wind free. Out here in the barn, in the garage, see what I got going on. See what we got going on here. Move this aside. This is my door, just in case any rabbits get squirrely and find their way out. Somehow they don't come out running out. They can hopefully stay in. And then the fan blows the wind. It keeps the air circulating in here so that everybody can breathe as healthy, as much dust as possible. Silver foxes hanging out. They look good. Over here is where I keep my feed. So these are the totes of chicken feed. And then this is the nest box where most of these sex links are gonna be putting their eggs. There should be a few in here. See, 1, 2, 3. And 1 or 2 of those mamas are over there putting eggs in these boxes that are for the rabbits. So, because they come in here now that this is open, and yeah, it's a party. So I'm trying to train them to go in here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. We'll see how it goes with a couple of them. But it's great. So I gotta get in here and I gotta top up their water and food. I gotta feed them. Gotta do that now. It gets dusty in here, so I wear my mask. You know? That's usually, but because I'm in here right now doing this video to show you guys, I'm not wearing it, but yeah. So this over here is the mini Rex. I'm probably gonna find a new spot, a new home for them. I don't want to keep mini Rex anymore, I don't think. It was a fun idea to do them as like a pet breed because they're little. They're not for meat. But I don't really have much time to try to do that when I have all these meat breed projects going. And it takes a little bit of time to reach in there every day. It's a little bit of work. So I might try to find somebody, rehome them. There's 3 of them. And we'll see how that goes. What's happening is they're having their eggs inside there because they're coming over here in the morning, and a bunch of eggs, like that many, were in there. So what I think I'm gonna do for like the next week or 2, because they're just now really all starting to lay their eggs, and I want them to learn, all of them to learn to be in here. This nest box where they lay their eggs, they roll out. I got my mask on. It's dusty. So they're going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to block their door for the next week or 2. Maybe for the next week. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to try that first. I'm going to block their door. And then around this time, around noon every day, I'll come out here and I'll open it up so they can go in the yard. So that'll mean they will have to be in here in the morning when they do their egg laying. So they'll see everybody else that is in here. They'll start coming in here, and that will train them all to come in here, is the idea. This is the contraption that will hold the head, and I'm putting down a board now. Let's take a minute to have some respect, because it's very important to appreciate your food and where it comes from and the life that is the animal. Okay, he's gonna go in here and he's gonna sit here, then this will lock. like so. I got the job done, guys. I'm not gonna record it this turn around. Maybe next time I'll record the process. This is it's a big deal for me, so I wanted to take the first time there for myself to really absorb it all. And I'm gonna turn the light on in here and start skinning the rabbit and getting the meat ready. And I'm gonna let the animals eat everything that I don't eat, so that's great for them. They need that. It's so important for them to have a natural raw foods diet. Yeah, it works good. It's a good method. It really quick, instantly, pretty much within like 1 second with the sword. I have to apply a lot of pressure, and it was there was very little, just a little screech from the rabbit, but very little trauma. You know, I've learned to breathe. Deep breaths, good consistent breaths is very helpful, therapeutic in the process, and not cutting yourself and being mindful and all that. So breathe. You want to try not to get fur all up on the meat. I'm still like an amateur, so I'm not there yet. I'm not perfect yet, but practice. And the technique is to get it to peel like a banana, is how it's said. So just like that is pretty much the gist of it. And then those guts will come out. So that's the intestines and the stomach. I'm gonna leave that out, and everything else is gonna be eaten by me and the dogs.